What is going on, Bronco Nation, All Terrain Nation? I don't know, man. This is kind of new for me, guys. We are take that off there. We are gonna have some fun tonight, and who knows how long these shows are gonna go. But if you haven't yet, be sure to share this link. This is gonna be a little different right now than the normal live Sundays you might be used to. But ready to talk some Ford products, and it feels so, I don't know, it feels kind of dirty. I don't know what you guys think. Does this feel all right to you? Is talking the Ford thing? I don't know, man. Like I said, it's going to be different for us. What's up, Frank B? But once again, if you would like and subscribe to this channel, it means a lot to us. And I know Frank B over there has. And I think it's going to be just a couple of us, Frank B. I think maybe some of the Nissan boys are scared to talk all things Bronco, as it were. And I just want to give everybody a little bit of background. I know I did a little intro video, but so my name is David Boyd. I ran the Nissan Nation podcast for over 5 years. I've run, off-road events. What's up, Kelly? I've ran, Windrock, which used to be called the National Xterra Meet. I've done that since 2011. I'm very, very off-road centric. I really like off-roading. And my partner, who you'll see in future episodes, Danny DeGroot X here on YouTube. He's the guy that he loves racing. Danny is a desert racer at heart, and he's currently building a I forget what series it is, 7100, something like that. Once again, I'm not a desert racer. I'm just a strictly off-road guy who loves all things trucks and SUVs. But we wanted to wet our beak here on everything. Like, I love everything, and a little bit of my background. We'll see. Once again, I've ran off-road events. I've owned, Jeeps, Chevrolet, Fords, Nissans, no Rams or Dodges that I can remember. I've owned a lot of vehicles, and then Danny has as well. Danny was a big Ford guy, which is going to get into our conversation tonight. But Danny, I wish he could be here, but Danny is on his 18th anniversary. They went and did a trip. I forget where they went, but for one, as common on our live shows, I am drinking a nice bourbon tonight. Which one is this one? It's a Frontier bourbon, but anyway, so cheers, everybody. Oh, wait. Oh, so Joe, you like the Bronco shirt, huh? You've seen the hat, but so once again, my background into this is kind of crazy. So my day job, I am a land surveyor, and you're like, well, what's that got to do with automobile journalism and stuff? And I, for the life of me, would have never thought I would have got into this. Like, I've always loved vehicles. My brother, who rest in peace, he really got me passionate about vehicles, and he was growing up, he was a big Chevrolet guy. He loved the C10s, and he moved on, and he had a little Datsun B210 that in high school that he drove. And I remember, this dates me, but I remember sitting in the back of this thing, and this is when cassette radios were really, you were really starting to put amplifiers and stuff in your cars, 81, 82, somewhere in there. And he had this little Datsun B210, and I remember Hungry Like a Wolf playing in this thing. I was sitting in the back seat, and it was it was, I don't know, something about that always connects me to vehicles. And after that, my brother was a big Chevy. Like I said, he had a Chevy Nova, a 69 Chevy Nova that was ridiculous until a tree fell on it. And which led me into my first vehicle was a GM product. It was a Buick Skyhawk, which you're like, what's that have to do with All Terrain Nation? Well, I treated that car like it was a truck, man. I as stupid kids would do, I would take that thing out on dirt trails, and I would just beat the piss out of this thing. And I had a blast doing it. And as we all do, one of my next cars was another little Buick Regal. And then I got me my first pickup truck was a Ford F-150, a 1997 Ford F-150, when it would have been about 6 months after that body style was released, I believe. I believe it was 97, 98. Sorry, I'm old. I'm dating myself. But I fell in love with pickup trucks after that. And I really couldn't see myself ever not having a pickup truck. And through certain things. Let's see. I don't know. You probably can't see it. There's a nice, let's see. There's a nice scar down to my hand where I took a chainsaw to my hand. And through that, I lost my job and I lost my Ford. So next thing let's see, what was the next thing I grabbed? I think it was a Ford F-250. I found an old, it was like an 88, 89, something like 89, I believe, Ford F-250. It had I want to say it was the 302 V8 in it, the small block V8 in it. I can't remember which one. It's been so long ago, but I loved that truck, man. And the only problem I ever had out of this silly truck was, the thing would just hydrolock, like, or not hydrolock, vapor lock like crazy. And that led me to, let's see, one of my dream vehicles. And this might really freak you guys out. And a Isuzu, that's right, a Isuzu Amigo. Like, I loved these things in high school. I just was very, they were the weirdest colors. They were sort of a Jeep, but they weren't a Jeep. At the time, they felt more modern versus like the YJs of the time. And I had a 93 that I just loved. It was only 2-wheel drive, but I lifted it and put bigger tires and all that on it. And I had a blast in that thing until somebody sideswiped me. Rest its soul. I love that little thing. I put a hard top on it. You know, they came with those soft tops, but I had fun in this vehicle. And all this leads me to one of my first off-road, when I got into land surveying, one of my real first off-road vehicles. And sit down for this one. Wait, I've got to take a drink on this one. So, was the 1992 Geo Metro. It was a hatchback. My first survey vehicle was a Geo Metro hatchback. And guys, I off-roaded the piss out of this thing. And part of my job, I was a new surveyor. I was like, well, I mean, they brought me here to get places I need to be. So this little 3-cylinder car, man, a little 5-speed thing. Like, I beat the piss out of this little thing. That little car ended up, and I didn't do it on purpose. I'm pretty responsible about it. But the way I figured was, it's a work vehicle. I'm here to work. The vehicle's here to work. And I think I only got that vehicle stuck maybe one time crossing a creek. And I kid you not, I crossed a creek with this thing. And I think I buried it right at the end, and I ended up getting it out. But that vehicle, when I got done with that thing, I think of the 3 cylinders, I think 2 of them had compression, and then 1 was dead. I remember going up a grade one time in this little thing, and it was floored all the way. I had it in first gear, and it still was just like barely trying to go up this hill. And from then I got a Ford Ranger. So, which kind of goes into tonight. We're going to talk Ford. And my Ford Ranger was a 2-wheel drive Ford Ranger that my company bought me. And once again, it's a work vehicle. And there's a lot of logging and old roads here in the East Coast that we used to have to deal with. And I was going to make it up in these things, which cut my teeth really into off-roading. I learned real quick, if you're going to choose a line, you better choose your line before you go. You better stick with it. You just better have some driving skill. And that truck, I never got that truck stuck, man. And I went through some crazy times in that. And let's see, that would lead me to a 1997 Ford F-150 long bed survey vehicle, first 4-wheel drive vehicle that I really cut my teeth on. And I think it had the little 4. I want to say it's a real small block. It's like a 4.6, something like that. And once again, 4-wheel drive, it wasn't completely new to me, but I was all about 4-wheel drive and learned, it's sort of versus 2-wheel drive. It's put that transfer case in, and it's kind of an easy button compared to what I was used to. And then my company got me they had it in the fleet, but I was switched to a 1990 Isuzu Rodeo. And I will say this, and we'll talk about this later shows. The Isuzu Rodeo I had was by far one of the best off-roading SUVs I've ever been into. Like, the thing, the V6 in it wasn't super powerful, but it was geared right, and the transfer case was made to work, and that thing was a beast. And that vehicle really taught me how to rock crawl, because there was places that I was going that I literally had to rock crawl, and I'm talking going miles in. So it wasn't hoofing it was an option, but Not in my eyes, man. And I remember throwing a good set of BF Goodrich KOs on it at the time, and just not abusing that vehicle, but I'll post. I found a picture the other day of that vehicle, but that vehicle ended up getting killed in a tornado that my company destroyed my company at the time, and which leads me to the Nissan world. So let's see, Good Friday of 2009, I believe it was. A tornado ripped through here in Middle Tennessee, and just my office was just head on with it. And at the time, I had a Nissan 2006 Nissan Frontier, the 4-door truck, because I'd had right before that I'd had a Honda Element, which I for the money right now, if I could find one, I know I bought, you guys who through the Nissan Nation know I bought a Juke. I was still looking for a Honda Element when I bought that Juke, because I love like a Honda little Element, man. It's the goofiest looking thing, but it was so practical. But so when we decided we were going to buy a boat, it was like the Honda Element ain't going to work. So I bought that Frontier, did great. Tornado killed it. And when a tornado rips through your town, you learn real quick, you better get a vehicle, because everybody else is looking for a vehicle. I mean, it ripped right through Murfreesboro, Tennessee here. And I knew going in that from doing surveying probably about 15 years at the time, I knew at the time that I wanted 4-wheel drive. I was pretty partial to Nissan at the time, as many of my Nissan Nation people know. And I wanted an SUV. So all the dealer lots were people were buying cars up like crazy. And at the time, we were just at the border. It was 2009. So we were just starting to hit the financial crisis that we had. So I knew I didn't want to spend a lot of money. I think I spent $7,000 on this Xterra. That really got my appetite for off-roading. I didn't realize at the time, like, I did it for a living, but I was like, oh, people do this for fun too. And so me and Kelly, who you'll get to know Kelly down the road, we took it to a park here, Woolies Off-Road, and all my Jeep buddies were like, oh man, what are you doing with this thing? Why didn't you just get a Jeep? And like they were amazed. We took it there. We took it to Windrock Park. I've nearly rolled it at Windrock Park, just having the time of my life. And the financial crisis ended up catching up with me, and I lost that thing. I had to file bankruptcy and nearly lost my home. We had a brand new baby on the way, or happened during all that. And it was start over. So my parents at the time, bless their souls, they felt sorry for me, and they said, here's $5,000. It's a loan. And, replace your vehicle, because when I lost my vehicle, I was willing to, with the credit union we had financed through, I was willing to, they were going to give me that $5,000, just pay it off. And the credit union wouldn't allow it. It's a long deal. That's still aggravates me 11 years later. But, so I went and I thought, I'm going to get a Jeep, or Jeep Wrangler. I thought, all my buddies around here had Wranglers, and I thought that's probably a good vehicle. So I made the mistake of finding one lifted on 35s already. And the dealership, I should have known right away, the dealership was having a hard time keeping it running, because 87 through 90 were carbureted on that, what was it, a 4.2 straight 6, and they didn't run from the factory. Like you could never make that engine run right with that silly carburetor. And I put a new one on it, and it's still just, I don't know what it was about that thing. I think it was because it was a mixture of Chevrolet parts and whatever they could find to make that thing run was, I don't know. And so I had that thing for about 3 months, and I took it off-roading one time, and one of my best friends went with me, and we went to Windrock with some of my Nissan buddies, and that thing beat the crap out of me, because I was used to the torsion bar suspension, which was a little easier on you than a solid axle front and rear leaf spring vehicle. And man, it beat me up. And I remember telling my best friends, like, how did these become popular? Like, this isn't fun. Like, and it was a shorter wheelbase, so I wasn't completely used to that at the time, even though my Amigo was shorter wheelbase, but I never really did anything serious off-roading with the Amigo. And I put it up for sale, and literally the day I sold it, I got on Craigslist, I think it was, and I sold it on Craigslist. The day I sold it, the guy gave me basically the $5,000 I had in it, because Jeep Wranglers, you guys know, they hold their value no matter if it runs right or not. And I found me a Nissan Xterra, and I got the Nissan. The guy mistakenly put in his ad, "Need gone this weekend," and I was like, don't put that, because I'm going to lowball you. And he took my lowball offer, and I had just enough money to lift that thing and put some 33-inch tires on it, and I was back in business. And I still, that vehicle's still in my driveway, and I've sassed it, and we'll get into all that later on later episodes. But this all leads me to where we're going. So I needed a family vehicle, so I bought a 2012 Nissan Frontier Pro 4X with it was just going to be my daily driver. And you guys know, once you get the mod bug in you, there's no coming back from it. And I lifted that vehicle through some partners at the time, Nistech Lifts, who does a lot through the Nissan brands. And I kept the factory size tires on it, and it looked good. And I still see that truck floating around from time to time. It was labeled by my buddies Betty White. I'd need to do a review on the Xterra. Frank, I did a walk around on it, and it's pretty sad. Anyways, so I took that and had a blast. I enjoyed that Frontier was one of the most fun vehicles I've owned for off-roading, even though I'm an Xterra guy. I like the size of the Gen 1 Xterra. And had a blast in it, but it came time to, we needed a full-size pickup truck. So I bought a 2017 Nissan Titan. And, well, we leased it with the idea that I would probably just continue to lease Titans. And enjoyed that truck thoroughly. Like, it towed my Xterra when I wanted to go take a rock crawling and stuff. It towed a great vehicle. And which leads me to, let's see where we are at now. Kelly, my wife Kelly, wanted an Xterra, so we bought her one, and it's currently out in our driveway. It's a 2009 Xterra, and that thing's lifted, kind of more of an overland style build. But as you can see, I've been very, very Nissan. But let's see, in July, I'd not paid a ton of attention to the Ford Bronco, but clearly I have now. They were going to release the 2021 Bronco. They were going to show it to everybody, and there'd been a lot of hype about this. But once again, I didn't pay too much. I'm Nissan centric, sort of, but like you've heard my resume of vehicles. Like, I've owned a little bit of everything. There was a Chevrolet Blazer in there too that I had. But I seen this release of this Bronco. It's supposed to be on, and we've all seen it was shown way before it was shown. I think TFL had gotten some spy photos and then got their hands smacked about it because they showed too much of it, which in the journalism field is a big no-no. I broke some stories for Nissan branding that have cost me over there too. So I've learned my lesson with that. But and guys, I will read your stuff here in just a minute. I watched, like everybody, I was like, oh, they're going to do it. I think it was June 9th. And it was like, no, that's OJ Simpson's birthday. We can't release it now. And you guys know OJ, he kind of killed the Bronco. Like, literally, I think between that and some people, like, he didn't just kill a couple people. It seemed he's killed a whole model. And so Ford cuts it off in 96, and all this hype about the new one. And I think it was Bronco. There was a Bronco forum that did a kind of a picture rendering of it. In about 2016, it got a lot of attention. It got so much attention. Ford was like at what was it? I wrote it down. Sorry guys. I'm super professional here. 2017 Detroit Auto Show. Ford, all they did was show the new Bronco logo, and people went nuts about it. And Ford's being inundated, and they're like, hey, we're bringing it back. And come to find out, maybe the outgoing head of Ford, it was kind of his sort of like, he threw it out there and then was like, walks off the stage like, all right, that's your problem, and left the company. But So in July or June, we seen the Bronco, and I'm watching it and just super excited. I was like, building in the hype. Like they had live chats going for hours beforehand, and I was bringing my Xterra people over and it's like, hey, let's troll these guys a little bit. And all of a sudden, the video kicks in, and it's Bryan Cranston talking about it, and I was like, holy cow. Like 4 weeks before that, Ford had really revealed the 2021 F-150, and it was a disaster. For us in the media, like we all talked about it privately, like it was a disaster how they released that. It didn't go well, and so it didn't leave a lot of hope for how they were going to show Bronco. Now, normally Bronco, we would have been at the Detroit Auto Show, and that's where it would have been revealed, and I would have been there covering that. Nissan had a bunch of things they were going to reveal. I was at the Chicago Auto Show this past year when Jeep released the Mojave, I think it was, trim, and a bunch of things. Toyota have released their blacked out versions of 4Runner. So I do cover these events, but I'm sitting there and I bought into the hype real quick, guys. Like I bought into the hype, and my Xterra people and my Nissan people are like, Dave, what are you doing? Like I told for a long time, I was like, the new Frontier comes out. It's going to be in the driveway, and there's still a good chance that it could be in the driveway. But this thing, it blew me away how much, Frank, I'll get in in just a second. It blew me away how much, like I had paid attention to the Wranglers, but Wrangler just the look hasn't changed, with the JK from the JK to the JL. It's a new vehicle, but it just hadn't changed a ton. And when you see this new Bronco compared to like a Jeep, you're like, I didn't realize that I needed an adventure vehicle that much. It was weird how it spoke to me about, wow, man, like the fact that you could get the new Bronco with the Sasquatch package with 35s, get rock rails under it. You can literally buy this thing, finance it however you would do it, a complete vehicle. So their marketing of it just like got me. And I've been a hardcore Nissan guy for quite a while and still love the brand. Don't get me wrong. I still love Nissan. I still cover Nissan as a journalist, as well as we're going to now enter into this. But so it took me about and I think I talked about this on Live Fridays the other night. It took me about a day to process this vehicle, just to sit there. And I'm a vehicle guy, like, and my wife is a vehicle person. So generally, if we buy something, the other negotiates the deal because we know that if she wants it, she knows she's going to give in too easily. And I know I'll give in too easily if I want it. So, but I went downstairs after that reveal, and I said, man, I got to show you this video. And it blew her away. She was like, holy cow, that's awesome. Ford instantly, in my opinion, they took and made the Wrangler, the JL Wrangler, which was what, like 2.5 years old, made it look 30 years old, in my opinion. They took the release of this Bronco, the little headlights here and all the glowies, and they really studied what Jeep had done, and they didn't just do that. They studied what overlanders were into and what off-road rock crawler guys were into, the Moab guys, the Rubicon guys. They really they took it to the next level. The way the doors, they're aluminum doors, so they're lighter to pull off. I've not seen any in-person stuff yet, but it looks like it's a one bolt that you take off to get the door off instead of like Jeep where you got two doors. And instantly the two-door comes with a hard top. So you can get, I think they have a base package. They have oh gosh, I should have studied this. I know there's in between, then there's the black diamond. And then, gosh, once again, I'm mind screwing up. And then there's basically their Rubicon package. But each package, they didn't go, okay, you can only get the Sasquatch package, which includes lockers front and rear. You get the goat mode, the seven mode goat mode, and a couple little other extras. They said, no, we'll do that in any package, which Jeep, which has owned the market for this type of vehicle, they are like, nope, you can only do Rubicon. Jeep was like, no, man, you want it, Ford's like, any package you can do this with 35-inch tires. And part of the cool thing is their Sasquatch package. It's not just adding larger tires on it. You're getting gearing for those tires. Like I said, lockers front and rear, a couple other options. But so when I seen their Badlands, which is their kind of Rubicon version, I seen that Badlands. I was like, holy cow, $42,000 gets you almost everything. Now there's luxury packages that you can add to it, but when I'm looking at that and the idea that any mid-size vehicle right now, mid-size pickup truck is, I think the Nissan Frontier right now is about 38,000 or more. It's hard to say now since they put the new motor in. I think it's nearly 40. I can get a lot more vehicle right now with the Ford Bronco. Now I don't get the bed and all that, yes, but I'm getting a lot more vehicle than what Nissan is like offering right now. Once again, I love the Nissan brand and everything I know of the Frontier. We released the Nismo version over on Nissan Nation Productions in March, I believe it was. Like, if they build that, holy cow, I'm probably all in on that one. Like, but Nissan has a history of letting us down. With look at Titan, the Warrior Titan deal, major letdown when they did not build that. They killed the Xterra, and a lot of these companies are doing it. Look at like the 4Runner right now. The 4Runner is kind of a shell of what it really used to be. It's more of a soccer mom kind of thing now. A lot of overlanders still like it, but even Toyota couldn't make the FJ work. So I'm happy to see this Ford Bronco jumping in, and I do think it's going to make all the other brands like second guess themselves, because Ford pre-sold 100. I think it's at 165,000 right now. The odds of somebody right now getting in on their $100 down deal and receiving it in 2021 are slim to none. That's how many vehicles of this they've sold. And so all this hype about this thing really, really tripped me out. And kind of made me go, well, maybe I'll own a Bronco for a couple years, because knowing Jeep's resale, like, you could own one. You can lease a Jeep right now. I think it was like, at one point, it's like $200 a month for a year. Now, granted, I think you put like $3,000 down, and Jeep knows that they'll lease you that for a year, knowing it's probably worth more than at the end of it if you wanted to buy it out. Like, they want you to lease it and bring it back because they know they're going to sell it again. But let me get into some of y'all's questions. That was kind of a where I'm at with Bronco Nation. And when Danny gets in here, I will definitely we're going to talk backgrounds and a little more. But let me see through here. You guys were talking like crazy. Kelly, Ford. That's cool. Let's see. Frank B. That's cool. As long as we're drinking. That's right, sir. Frank, cheers to you. Frank B says, hey, Joe. That reminds me of Hendrix. Where are you going with that gun in your hand? Joe Taylor, Nissan. Kelly, Joe. Let's see what else we got here. Joe Taylor, wow, I love that shirt, Dave. Never thought I would like a Bronco shirt. Thank you. The only bummer about this is I forget. I found it on Amazon or something. The lettering needs to be slightly lower. Like, I feel like Bronco's up to my nose, but on a woman, it would be kind of awkward. So, and I bought Kelly one too. Let's see. I've always loved Nissans, but all brands for the most part. It says Frank B. Kelly's Frontier Bourbon sounds like Nissan to me. It does sound like a Nissan thing, doesn't it? Let's see. What's everyone else do for a living? Frank B is a maintenance tech. Let's see. Joe Taylor, I'm a high school student with big automotive goals. Well, Joe, what are your goals, Joe? We'll have to talk about that. Let's see. Frank B, my first vehicle was a 76 Dodge Ram Charger. Ooh, in 1995. Got a hard body and loved it ever since. The Amigos for Three Amigos. Let's see. A Geo, no way. Yes, that's true, Joe. Or yeah, Joe. Let's see. I apologize for just idling. I'm going through here real quick. Let's see. I need to do a review once again on the Xterra. Frank, I will. There is one on Nissan Nation Productions, but I've got to clean that thing out. I'm going to do a proper review on it and talk about some of the goods and bads of what I've done to that thing. Let's see. I remember when you tore the bumper on yeah, there's a video. Actually, Patrick, there's a video of that on YouTube of when I did that. The first time I was in my truck, Betty White, my 2012 Frontier Pro 4X. I'm talking to my buddies in the seat, and I'm used to the Xterras having a little bit more clearance in the rear. And dude, I ripped the bumper off, just not completely off, but I tore half of it, and it's sticking up in the air. And I was just like, I got out, and I was like, well, you broke in now. Let's see. Nice headlights. Let's see. As you know, Dave, you are Nissan people. I am Nissan people, and I still love the brand. Like, you're going to see a lot of Nissan on here too. I still love Nissan. And once again, I cover Nissan as somewhat of for a living, we'll say. And I've been invited to a lot of Nissan things, but all the turmoil right now within Nissan just doesn't, it makes it's not a fun brand to cover right now. The 2020, when me and Danny were invited to do some stuff on that 2020 back in November last year, I liked it. I thought some of the stuff is where it should have been in 2016, but at the same point, they also didn't do enough. So I'll do a proper review on very unbiased review on that one of these days. Let's see. Not sure. Let's see. Slightly better. I'm trying to catch up with you guys. Joe, you're talking about Alfonso. I think he's one of the worst things that happened to Nissan right now. We both follow him on Instagram. And if you haven't yet, if you're new to the channel, we're on Instagram. It's all_terrain_nation_media. Follow that Instagram, please. I think for Nissan, Alfonso has too much control over design. Like, you always have a head designer, but he's doing infinity. Like, the dude's all over for Nissan. Like, he's too much into it. And when you get into their designs for pickup trucks, and the engineer that was heavily involved in the redesign of the Titan, after getting to know him a little bit, he's not a truck guy, which is partly what scares me about Frontier. Kelly says for the Bronco, let's see. Ford is offering a lot of packages for that and engine. So right now, I'll get into it. So right now, I'm not scheduled to get my Bronco. It wouldn't be till June, and I'm assuming probably not till July of next year, because I waited a day and a half before throwing my money down on that thing. And you know, I'm still way ahead of a lot of people, but so what I've opted for right now in the Bronco, I went for the Badlands package, though I think I'm going to scale down to the Black Diamond package. But my goal is, and the reason for scale down is, I want the V6. It's a twin turbo V6. I don't have any problems with the 4-cylinder. I think it's 270 horse right now. And I'm going for the 2-door option. I don't want the 4-door because this vehicle basically is going to sit in the driveway till we want to play with it. I expect that the thing maybe in a couple years would have 10 to 15,000. Like, it won't get drove a ton. And it's not because I don't drive vehicles. I have a nice company vehicle, and I have 2 other vehicles out there. But I think I do want the V6. So I'm going to go Black Diamond with the twin turbo V6 and the Sasquatch package. And I don't know if you guys have seen it. Right now we're in a battle, especially in trucks. We're in a battle of who can get the larger screen in each vehicle. Therefore a bit, Ram is it a 10-inch screen right now? I think they've upped it to 11, but that was like class leading, like screen wise. And the Nissan Titan went up to a 8-inch screen, and I think the new Ford F-150 is up to a 10 to 11-inch screen. Like, you can't get a big enough tablet now in your vehicle. And so I really do like the idea of the is it 12? I think it's 12, no, 11. Anyways, the larger screen. But Black Diamond, they only offer what they call the mid package, and I think it comes in that, but depending. So right now, Badlands Sasquatch package, V6 automatic, because you can't. The one bummer, and I've heard about this a lot from Bronco guys. I'm following Bronco guys a lot. They're not offering a manual transmission with the 6-cylinder. And what I'm hearing about that is they don't think that the transmission they're using currently can handle the power and the torque of the V6, because it's horsepower rating's pretty crazy with the V6. And so they're not offering that, but I wouldn't opt for it anyways. I want a manual transmission in my cars, not my trucks. I've off-roaded with my YJ was a manual transmission, and I just didn't have fun in it. I'm getting older, and I'm out there to have fun, and part of the challenge and just enjoyment is to be there, to be in the woods. And I don't necessarily find like shifting that much fun anymore unless I'm on a racetrack or down some country roads, which I like doing. Let's see. Not sure about the V6. Yeah. So it does but the idea of that 4-cylinder, I don't know if you guys have paid much attention to it, but the 4-cylinder being able to get basically that crawler gear, freaking ridiculous, man. And that, I think that's what swept the beak of everybody that wanted Bronco with the V6 in that manual, is that crawler gear. Because I think it's like 90-1 or something. It's ridiculously. I think like Rubicon is like 88-1. So it's just a slightly slower than a little more gear. But I'm super excited about it. I think me and the wife have been battling about what color we would get, because I haven't been able to order the options yet. Right now, I think it's between Area 51 and Cactus Gray, and I'm the Cactus Gray guy, and she's the Area 51 girl, and probably going to make her happy and give her the Area 51. But there's a lot of great colors in this. Joe Taylor says it is a Ram 12-inch. That's right, and Nissan is 9-inch. Look at that, Joe. I'm already first show in, and I'm forgetting Nissan stuff. Can you believe that? Let's see, Patrick. Let's see. I wonder if Ford will offer the engine reprogram that they are offering Ranger. Yes, Patrick, Ford has announced that, or there's been talk of them actually, you can buy a factory tuning of these vehicles, which that should scare aftermarket companies. I don't know if you guys are pay much attention to this, but with the idea that Ford is offering all this aftermarket stuff you can buy for it and finance it all right in. You can even lease one of these things and get the racks, the roof racks, the winch, everything. And it just has to be returned when you return the vehicle, which is kind of nutty. Like even Jeep, you can't buy all these accessories that Mopar doesn't do all these accessories like Ford Bronco is going to do. But this thing will go off-roading. There's depending, there's always an event planning that I could do with it. But I'm super pumped about it. I know my Nissan guys aren't going to be like super hyper about the Bronco. And once again, I have till basically December. December's when you actually order the vehicle. So they did the $100 pre-order, gets you basically in a list. Out of the 165,000 sold, excuse me, I'm sure you're only going to get 100,000 actual sales, because it's easy to put $100 down and then back out of it, and it's refundable. So yes, Joe Taylor, it is happening too fast. But that's okay. That's okay. Let's see. Joe Taylor, you are now a moderator of this one as well. Let's see, guys, do you have any questions about this Bronco? I can go into a ton of details about this thing, but ultimately, every guy out there, every truck and SUV guy out there has done something on Bronco. There's a lot of good information out there. Once we get to order the thing, so supposedly this month you get to excuse me, it's softball practice night, but this month you get to an idea what things are going to cost. So then we'll get a sheet on what like the Sasquatch package and everything's going to do, and then in December you get to order it. So I'm curious about Nissan Frontier. Do we see it before then? And does this December deadline seal my fate with Bronco? Now, till you sign the paperwork, say July, I'm not, you're still not obligated, even though dealers would love you not to be obligated because they're going to they want one for the lot. And if it's a $42,000 SUV, they're going to jack it up $10,000 because nobody can get them. Let's see. Any questions on this one? We're at 40 minutes here, and once again, I know this is a little different than how the live Sunday or Friday works, but once again, guys, I need you to be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Once again, I did that push last January, hard push, but really it started in around this time last year of 1,000 subscribers, and I'm gonna do that push again. I must be a glutton for punishment. I need 1,000 subscribers on this channel, and I need 4,000 hours of watch time to get monetized. Now, for my Nissan guys, you're going to like this. If I can get this channel monetized, what pennies I make on the Nissan one should really amp up on this one. Now, not against any other brand out there, but I'm hoping this channel can help subsidize the Nissan stuff a little bit. And with your help, we can do that. I'm not going to do a Patreon for this channel right now. I don't want to confuse anybody. Anybody that has done our Patreon, Nissan Nation Productions, thank you so much. I can't say enough about how you guys, the Nissan guys, if you're on here, have supported us over the years. It means a lot to me. We've been able to, I want to say, about $1,600 that we've been able to raise on the Nissan side of things. And once again, I think this channel would just double or triple that real quick. And that's all to fly Danny places, to fly me places when this pandemic's over. Part of the money this year was going to go to get me to the Detroit Auto Show and the LA Auto Show. And sadly, COVID happened. And let's see, Frank B. So if Ford doesn't think the manual can handle the extra power, what about the guys who go on the tunes? I don't know on that, Frank. I know the 4-cylinder in general has had a little bit of problems. Our buddy over there, Scotty, did a video on it this past week about telling people how they should stay away from that 4-cylinder. And you guys know how I feel about Scotty, king of misinformation. But I think they're taking their time with this, and they're going to do it right. Now, Ford has also said publicly that they are willing to listen to what people want, and they're willing to if the people want it, they'll develop that manual transmission. But at the end of the day, I think Jeep's announced or reported in the past that it's not even 10% of Wrangler sales go to manual transmission. So I think they did people a favor by having one and then adding the crawler gear. But at the end of the day, I don't know. As I wrap this up, guys, one last little thing about the Bronco, the Badlands. Did you see where they do the sway bar disconnect? And they perfected this with Raptor, because the Raptor will do this. And pretty trippy, man, and it can be under tension where Jeep has the same thing, but you basically got to be on flat ground, no tension on it, and you release it. And Ford even has theirs set up to where once it doesn't need it anymore, I think it connects back automatically. Let's see. Joe Taylor, here's a question. What does Ram need for the TRX? Ooh, that's a good question. I like Ram pickups, but I'm not sold on TRX. For one, I think it's a horrible name. Raptor, which is what the TRX is going to kind of take on. Raptor is a solid, like it's an exciting name. I don't see TRX being that exciting to me. I like the look of the Ram pickup truck. Ford needs some competition with Raptor because I think the next gen Raptor, which we've seen a lot of pictures of, I don't know, unless they do something crazy. I know a lot of the guys that were buying this twin turbo V6 Raptor are going back to the V8s. And I think Ford's come out and said that they won't put a V8 back in that truck. So if Ram does a Hellcat in that thing, they motor wise, they up the game. And Ram, who used to have the worst interiors in pickup trucks, now has, I think, the best interior. It could be really, really cool. It could be really cool, man. So I'm scheduled to watch that probably like everybody else. I think it's tomorrow at 11 a.m. I want to say Eastern. That you can they're going to premiere that, and I'll be curious to see how they took what Jeep did with the Bronco and how they do their digital release, because normally you release these at auto shows, the press gets first dibs at it, and the press will. I'm not into Ram's press credentials just yet, but we will be. So I know that my buddy over there at Pickup Truck and SUV Talk, Tim, he's probably already seen the video on it that they're going to do. There's embargoes where he can't talk about it, even to other journalists. Like he won't discuss it. Let's see. Frank says there's an Easter egg in that truck console. There's a T-Rex eating a Raptor. That would actually be kind of crazy. Yes, Ram's long-term quality is a little concerning. I did a what was it, about 1,200 mile trip in a Bighorn a couple months ago. We went and picked up a SAST Frontier. Ride's great, super comfortable. I still think the Titan with the zero gravity seats, the way they do their seats, are a little more comfortable. But pretty much all these full size trucks, your console's big now, right there. I don't like the dial stuff. I'd rather it just be like the more electronic push buttons for that. I love the column shifter. I'm a column shifter guy. I don't know, something about you feel connected with a vehicle. It's like the Juke I have outside. The reason I wanted a manual, I wanted to feel connected to when I'm driving, which I think we all do. So I don't know. We've got guys, let's wrap this up. We got an exciting time, man. We got a ton of EV pickups coming out there. I'm going to do an episode on the Tesla. Now that that's calmed down a little bit, let's piss these EV guys off a little bit. Ford's got a new EV coming out. We've got the Hummer EV is coming out, man. This is a great time for pickups and SUVs, and I'm just pumped to be a part of it. So, guys, from all things here in All Terrain Nation Studios, seems weird. Wow, so weird. This has been your All Terrain Nation, and I'm your host, David Boyd. And Joe Taylor, what are we? You know you want to say it. Guys, we are out. Peace, everybody. See y'all Friday for Nissan Nation Productions, Live Fridays. Peace.